Across Scotland, farms are finding new ways to diversify, add value and build more resilient rural businesses. In this episode of FAS TV, we visit Drumsleed Farm, home to a pedigree Simmental herd and the family behind Drumsleed Meats, to explore how they have diversified through sustainable new product development and direct food sales. We also visit neighbouring Westerton Farm to discover how diversification into retail, experiences and online sales has strengthened the business. Together, the two farms are collaborating to create innovative ready meals using quality underutilised local beef and surplus vegetables, bringing a true farm-to-table approach to life.
So my name is Doug Smith. I started up Drumsleed Meats with my mum and dad in 2020. Fiona, my wife, was running the spud hut with an honesty shop and it was going really well. So I decided that I would try the beef side of it. So back in 2018, I had a freak accident with a bull. And while I was off work, I was sitting there thinking, how can we add more money to the farm? The spud hut was on the go at this point, and I was trying to think of similar style things that would maybe work. They were selling veg, so I thought, why can't we try the beef? So Drumsleed is 340 acres. We have 220 acres here and another 120 acres at Abbyton just down the road. It is a mainly beef farm. We grow a small amount of arable crops for our own use. So we feed all our own cattle off our own barley. I am the fourth generation farmer at Drumsleed. My grandfather moved here as a 2-year-old in 1937. So yeah, looking forward to taking it on myself someday. Some young children hopefully coming on to keep the thing going, fingers crossed. So we started up some farm tours 3 years ago. Again, just another diversification to hopefully bring more people in about to the shop. We added some sheep and some goats to the farm tours. Started off with 4 sheep, we've now got 16. Don't want that to get any more. We've got enough on our hands with the cattle. Hopefully at some point we can add some lamb into the shop as well to go alongside the beef. My mum and dad had tried many different breeds over the years. The Simmental was the one that always stood out for us. Nice quiet cattle, milky cattle. We don't have to push the calves on so much or with hard feed from a young age because the cows have plenty of milk themselves. But they're also really beefy, so easy to finish. They've been great for the shop. Lovely fat cover, brilliant marbling through the beef, and also something slightly different from the traditional breeds that use for beef as well. So we also show them. So it was just a nice story to carry on to finish them ourselves as well. We've only really started finishing our cattle over this last 5 years for the shop. We used to sell all our cattle store through Thainston. When we started finishing them, we knew we could finish them relatively quickly because there's always a huge demand for them at the markets. And we're able to finish them within that 15-month bracket. If we want to, we like to finish them between 16 and 20 months. We think it gives a nice flavour to the beef. So they do finish very quickly on silage and minimal barley. And when I started doing the beef here, I realised there's so much more flavour from a properly reared animal, and it's consistent as well. So I'm killing the same style of animal all the time, one with a good cover, same age, and also always females, because they're sweeter, they taste better, and I've always got a nice marbling through them as well. That fat marbling through them is delightful, and it just, yeah, I'm now getting hungry just thinking about it. But yeah, now I don't buy steaks from anywhere else because I've now just got a proper taste for them, and I do believe that my customers are experiencing that as well, and I have a lot of people that don't buy from anywhere else. So I started the diversification back in 2020. It was a quick, easy one to start with. I spoke to a butcher that I was very friendly with, asked them if I could do it. It started off with a fridge just in the Spud Hut just along the road, selling beef through their honesty shop. And then I decided that I would have my own shop here and expand that a little bit more. So I've got a couple of fridges, a couple of freezers. I started by just buying beef directly from the butcher, but now I've started putting my own cattle through. It is only my own cattle that go through now. One of the ways that we try and make use of our beef and bring customers into the shop is to sell pies. And using our own beef in our pies has been a great thing. Trying to find someone to make the pies isn't always the easiest, but we came across Castleton, who are just across the hill there, as the crow flies, a couple of miles, and they are making our pies for us. So collaborating with another family business who have also diversified as well has been great. And that's just grown. I sell online. I have a website, which maybe been a little bit quiet with lately, but we can send out insulated boxes with beef all over the UK. And then I have also started up the burger van as another diversification. We set up the burger van to try and keep that beef moving so I could keep more fresh beef coming in. You will find the burger van at all the local shows, cattle shows mainly. And that has been a huge attraction, people seeing the farmer working in the burger van. People are always asking, is this the same people that have the Simmental cattle at Drumsleed? To which I'm able to reply, yes, and I am the one that actually is there on the farm. So it's been a huge story, kind of going the full cycle. Just keeping on top of the dates has been the biggest challenge. Keeping on top, like beef going out of date, or also keeping on top of everything, like all the regulations, but also getting your timings right with putting cattle away. We are only putting away one every 3 weeks. And it's trying to plan that next one going away, having one ready all the time for going away, keeping in touch with slaughterhouses, liaising with butchers, all these sort of things. But then also making sure that we're keeping that beef moving and not landing with too much left at the end of its shelf life. But we have been very lucky we're in such a rural area. We don't have a massive footfall of people, so we rely a lot on regular customers coming back, online sales, and the burger van keeping all this beef moving all year round. So yeah, keeping that planning going all year round can be a bit tricky sometimes. And then your constant phone going off all the time. Customers, it's my number that's on the shop, so we are constantly having to keep an eye on our phones, emails, Facebook messages, social media, all the rest of it to keep on top of everything. So Westerton Farm, because they were doing the Spud Hut and the honesty shop, it was a similar setup as what I was doing with the beef. In most people's meals, meat and veg is a good meal to make. So it made a lot of sense using their veg to collaborate with our beef, and we've worked back and forth quite a lot from time to time with meals deals where we've offered our beef, their tatties and their veg for offers in the past. So, and we sell our beef through their shop too, so it was a natural thing to do, to use them for their veg for these collaborations. So at the moment with Westerton, we sell our beef to them. They have my beef in their shop for sale, but they're also using their beef through their cafe as well for stovies, is what they're using at the moment. And we occasionally stock their veg in our shop during different seasons. The collaboration was there already for using their veg to utilise these ready meals that we're going to be doing.
My name is Fiona Smith and I'm one of the owners here at Westerton Farm. Westerton is a 450 acre arable farm based in the How the Mearns just outside Lawrencekirk. We farm malting barley and winter wheat, and we rent land out for potatoes, peas, other vegetables and grassland. I'm the 4th generation to farm here at Westerton, and it's had many guises over its years. We have farmed daffodil bulbs and flowers, tulips and crocuses. We've had pigs, cattle, neeps and other different vegetables on the farm as well, but we're mainly focused on the cereals market now. I joined the farm back in 2014 after seeing Caroline Miller speak at the Oxford Farming Conference, and she was talking about agri-tourism and adding value to your farming business through a tourism enterprise, and that really got me thinking about what we could do at Westerton. That's snowballed over the years, and we now have a farm cafe with a small shop, an events business where we host birthday parties on the farm, we host retreats, we have a pumpkin patch, a campsite, pick your own lavender and some animal experiences. We really wanted to start selling directly to the public to help educate people on where their food came from, how to eat seasonally and how to eat locally.
It's a huge barrier between the farmers and the public, and trying to get them to see what we're doing. You know, there's not many cattle in this area. We're predominantly an arable area. So when you see a lot of people driving up the road, stopping at the roadside, seeing the cattle, but they don't understand what we're doing. So being able to bring people in about the farm, see the cattle. We started up farm tours a few years ago as well. And that has been a huge attraction for people, seeing where their beef is actually coming from.
So we decided to focus on food transparency, and that led us to opening up farm to table, which allowed us to sell what we were growing like we had been doing through the Spud Hut, but also help people understand the value of food and the food miles that were associated with each item they were buying. That's again evolved over the years, and we're now a farm cafe, so we're really able to live out that farm to table message where we're actually serving up a lot of the food that we grow here on the farm in the dishes we produce in the cafe. The takeaway food option was originally introduced in 2022. I am a massive fan of soup and a toastie on a winter's day for my lunch, and it was a very basic menu which included soup, toasties, baked tatties and sandwiches. And we quickly realised that actually there was a much bigger market there for food on farm, seeing the food growing outside, and a lot of the dishes that we were producing with the apart from the soup and the baked potatoes didn't include actually everything that we were growing. So we've evolved the menu, we've put on a commercial kitchen, and we're now able to serve a much wider range of dishes that really show what we're growing. We introduced our pick your own tatties back in 2020, and if I'm being completely honest, it was born out of laziness. I was harvesting tatties by hand one day and I thought there has to be a better way to do this. And I used to go and pick tatties and bulbs when I was younger. So we thought, let's open it up to the public and see if they want to come in and dig their own. And it was a massive hit. There was a lot of grandparents taking their grandchildren out to the farm and talking about how things were done back in the day, explaining why the tatty holidays were called the tatty holidays here in the northeast. And it gave people a real opportunity to get on farm, get their hands dirty and see how their food was grown. So the pick your own has evolved over the years as the business has. We now have our polytunnel set up here at Westerton so people can go and pick their own salads, they can pick their own peas, beetroots, the potatoes are still a big hit, and we also have a pumpkin patch. Other on-farm experiences that we offer include animal experiences, so you can come and interact with our alpacas and our goats and our chickens. We are able to offer farm tours, farmhouse lunches, pick your own lavender, and we have an on-site campsite as well. We also host a birthday party every April for the shop. It opened in April, and that's a really big event for the community. We run that free of charge, and it's just our way of thanking all our customers for supporting us throughout the rest of the year. We do a Christmas market as well, where we get local producers on site to help sell giftware and different foods. So I think having these community-based events is really important for the local area. We balance running the events alongside the core farming, but we've really streamlined our farming over the last few years. I have a young family, and it's not particularly easy to balance that childcare alongside farming. So we're predominantly cereals now. So the farm itself, although still busy and very active, is quite concentrated with its busy times. So we're able to fill the gaps with events and community-based activities. We developed our online shop back in 2020 during COVID, when there was a massive request for veg boxes. So we did that for about a year. We were delivering veg boxes locally between Stonehaven and Montrose. The demand for that has naturally fallen over the last few years. So we sell veg boxes for collection here at the shop, and you can also order your seasonal veg boxes for Christmas time and things like bread and some of the other products that we sell in the shop. It's not a huge part of our business at the moment, but it is something that we plan to develop more in the future. Expanding into new areas is always challenging. It's very difficult to carry out reliable market research to make sure that what you're doing is what the public are after. A lot of it is trial and error, which is difficult when you're looking at a big financial investment. We're very lucky that we have the support of our bank and some very good business advisors to help us make those decisions. But challenges that will come your way, for example, the weather. We opened up the pumpkin patch back in 2018. Growing pumpkins is not easy in Scotland. They like heat and sunshine, which is not overly abundant. But hosting events in October can be challenging as well with the weather that comes our way. So we've done our best to mitigate a lot of the risks that we have using assets on the farm, such as our barns for hosting our pumpkin event and putting up polytunnels to help extend our growing season. One of the things that we realised when we opened the Spud Hut was how important it was going to be to work with local producers and collaborate with them in terms of being able to expand our offering. So we now support over 30 individual businesses here at Westerton by selling their wares in the shop and by also having them on our menu. So a really good example is Stonehaven Sea Salt. They started their business I think in 2019 and we've sold their product in the shop for many years, but we also use it on our menu and during our feast nights. It's a really good way of showing people that visit the shop, both local and from further afield, what a great larder Aberdeenshire has. So we've collaborated with Drumsleed Meats many times over the years. Douglas started his business in 2020. We have a running joke in the family that we're the minced each other's tatties, so we never were going hungry during COVID because we always had a really good supply of beef and a really good supply of vegetables. And I think that's an excellent opportunity for us to collaborate. So we do meal deals with his products and with our products, but specifically looking at the product development side, having the proteins and the goodness that comes from red meat mixed with really well grown local vegetables is a good mix, I think.
We're collaborating with the meat side from ourselves and the veg from Westerton to make ready meals is hopefully what we're going to do. Already getting samples sent out to us and they have been absolutely amazing. It's one of the joys of getting these samples that we can all sit and try at home at night. So yeah, hopefully we can do more of that going forward. It's a food enterprise through the SAC that we're using and their development chefs. Morag has been fantastic at taking different cuts and veg away and making these amazing meals and then sending these samples back to us for us to sample. And yeah, we are really enjoying them. If there's anything we don't like, we ask her to adjust, and she's constantly asking us what we like and what we dislike. And they've been absolutely incredible. There's been nothing that I haven't liked so far.
The collaboration with Drumsleed Meats through the product development team has really helped us be able to let the public know how diverse vegetables are. So a lot of people will look, if they look imperfect or if they're going slightly out of season, they'll not use them. And I think use by dates have become a bit of a barrier for people. They don't want to use anything that's past them, but actually with a lot of vegetables you can just look at them and tell if they're able to still be used in dishes. And I think that shows that you can extend the life of your food and reduce food waste by using them in meals.
So the new product development is really exciting. It's great to have the raw materials in the shop, but having these options to go home and cook something so simple but fresh as well I'm really excited by this. The way that society is going at the moment, everyone is looking for a fresh, healthy, ready meal, and we're hoping to be able to offer that very soon. What we're doing at the moment is taking beef that isn't selling so well in the shop and wonky veg or veg that isn't as attractive in the shop at Westerton, and we are creating a new product development ready meal with SAC. They're making up these sample meals for us, which will then sell through our shop, possibly Westerton as well, and hopefully add more value to beef or veg that we're not able to sell. Because they are so close as well, keeping that low food miles story going is what both of our businesses are trying to do. I think is what the community and society is looking for at the moment. So I think it's a massive role that they play for us.
The collaboration with Drumsleed Meats is really important for us going forward to help support Doug in his journey to producing his ready meals, but also in showing how our foods can be used for people's dishes in their own homes as well. I think in terms of product development, there's lots that can be done with vegetables in terms of preserving them, pickling them, fermenting them. That's a really hot topic just now, especially at Westerton. We talk a lot about nutrition and gut health. It's a big focus of our menu. So I think developing products that can go along those kind of lines will be really popular going forward.
Support that we've had so far from SAC has been amazing. You know, really trying to chat thoroughly about what we're trying to do. It's been really, really positive and so easy to do. And it's, yeah, very exciting, these collaborations. So the future plans. So I want to add a lot more products to the shop, obviously a lot more ready meals, following on our collaboration with the food enterprise and development chefs at the SAC. I really want to add lamb to the shop next as well, and maybe add lamb to these ready meals too. And then following on from that, I've got so many ideas that I want to do more farm tours. We haven't done the farm tours this year because of me being off work, which hasn't been ideal for mum and dad. So, but yeah, I would love to reintroduce the farm tours again next year. There's also a huge history to the farm. We've been, like I say, I'm fourth generation farmer, but my grandfather has got a lot of his original machinery, tractors and that from the farm that I would love to set up for display for people to come in and see. It's just something slightly different. I think diversification is a huge thing now, you know, with the Scottish agritourism that's going on. We've got the Global Agritourism Conference coming across to Scotland this year, which we might never see again in our lifetimes. And I think there's just a huge push now for farms to diversify, to try and take the business forward. I'm really excited about trying to bring more public in about to see what we're doing, you know, try our beef, try and get people to understand where their food is coming from and how farming and cattle and livestock play a massive part of, you know, the area and the countryside.
So I think diversification for farming in this area is very important because we are the first point of contact for Aberdeenshire's amazing larder. And if we're looking at attracting more visitors, more tourism, which is going to help the economics of the entire county, we need to be looking at bringing them in here and really showcasing what Aberdeenshire has to offer. We are so lucky to have the sea and the hills so close together. We have amazing seafood, we have brilliant arable land, we have great livestock land. So I really do think that we've got a lot to shout about, and I think we need to focus on that and bring people in to actually see what we're doing and taste what Aberdeenshire's got to offer.
I think it's very important to work together. It could be very easy to work against each other, but we're not going to achieve anything by doing that. So working together is definitely the way to go for smaller family-run businesses.